They could not remove him through impeachment. They could not break him through convoys or stadium threats or 17-day tours of a state he did not govern. So the allegation now, signed, named, and placed in public, is that someone found their way onto a burial committee and fixed a date. Think about what that means. Not a court filing, not a presidential directive, a date. The most personal unit of time in human existence, the day a family says goodbye, allegedly converted into a political weapon in the war for the soul of Rivers State. And Governor Siminalayi Fubara's response to that weapon, to the viral outrage, to the 509 Facebook reactions that spread faster than morning rain across Port Harcourt, was to dress in all black, walk into the family home, bow over a condolence register, and sign his name. No cameras, no press release, no counter-allegation, just the signature and the silence that speaks louder than any press conference Abuja has ever hosted. Before we arrive at the burial, you must understand the pattern, because in Nigeria, the most dangerous political moves do not announce themselves, they accumulate. Since Governor Fubara was sworn in, the documented record shows a sitting minister, Nyesom Wike, FCT minister, and Fubara's own political godfather, allegedly conducting what political watchers in Port Harcourt now call a parallel governance campaign. Presidential convoys entering Rivers State uninvited, motorcades whose size carries one message to every observer on Aba Road and Rumola: the real authority is not in Government House. A 17-day thank you tour across all 23 local government areas of a state Wike no longer governs. A tour structured like a re-election campaign for a seat that belongs to another man. A threat, not a request, not a negotiation, to break Yakubu Gowon Stadium when access for political events was declined. And the statement Wike made to Fubara's face, the one that became public because in Nigeria, nothing whispered stays whispered. Heaven will not fall. Even if heaven falls, there will be peace everywhere. 4 moves, each one designed to plant the same seed in the minds of Rivers people. Wike is the governor. Fubara is the placeholder. The godfather remains. And through all of it, Fubara did the one thing a godfather cannot legislate against, cannot convoy away, cannot threaten out of a man's character. He governed. He stayed silent. He kept working. Which is precisely why, if the allegation made publicly by Alvin Iye Igone Ebi Ben Stowe, a named senior citizen of Rivers State, who signed his full name to this analysis, is accurate, the next move required something Wike had not yet attempted, something that required no court order, something that reached into the calendar of grief itself. The allegation is that Senator Barry Mpiji's burial was deliberately fixed for Saturday, April 11, 2026, the exact same Saturday on which the Amayanabo of Opobo, His Royal Majesty King Dandesin Douglas Jaja, chairman of the Rivers State Council of Traditional Rulers, was already scheduled to be buried. The Amayanabo died December 31, 2025, months before Mpiji's burial date was set. Anyone planning in April 2026 could have known. The question Rivers State is now debating is whether that knowledge was used. As the proverb warns, the fly that refuses to listen follows the corpse into the grave. The question is whose fly and whose grave. The calculation, if the allegation is accurate, is devastating in its precision. Fubara has a constitutional and protocol obligation to attend the burial of the chairman of the Rivers State Council of Traditional Rulers. The Amayanabo of Opobo is not ceremonial. He is the most senior traditional ruler in the state. His burial is a function of the highest institutional order. Fubara cannot delegate it and appear at Mpiji's burial without creating a wound that bleeds in a different direction entirely. So, by allegedly fixing Mpiji's burial on the same Saturday, Wike allegedly engineered a single, clean, camera-ready image, himself standing as the most senior political figure at the graveside of the man he personally anointed in Koroma Tai, while the sitting governor fulfills his obligations elsewhere. 509 Facebook reactions for the accusation that Fubara abandoned Mpiji's family. 39 reactions for the correction that he had already visited privately, signed the register, and said nothing. The outrage traveled faster, the truth arrived quieter, and a commenter on the correction post immediately wrote, "Please zoom that half shoe, what's there?" Because when the propaganda collapses, the only remaining move is to dispute whether the photograph is real. This is the information environment inside which the average Rivers person, the civil servant in Rumola, the trader in Mile 1 Market, the student in Uniport, is being asked to form a political opinion, not on policy, not on infrastructure, not on the price of gari or the state of the roads, on a burial date, on a shoe in a photograph, on 509 reactions versus 39. What is actually at stake is not Wike's image or Fubara's protocol record. What is at stake is something older and more dangerous. Whether a sitting governor of a Nigerian state can be systematically delegitimized through the accumulated weight of perception, convoy by convoy, visit by visit, and now, allegedly, burial by burial. The people of Rivers State buried their king and their senator on the same Saturday. Two families in genuine grief, and in the middle of that grief, if the allegation is accurate, a political calculation was running. The people of Rivers State will draw their own conclusions about who arranged it that way and why a governor who could not be moved by impeachment, by convoys, by stadium threats, or by heaven falling, chose instead to answer with his signature on a condolence register and the most lethal silence in Nigerian politics.